Hey guys, welcome back. We have a weekend energy update to get into. We have more very intense energy coming through this weekend. There is definitely a vibe here about something coming to some type of final ending, final conclusion, breakdown phase, but there is a rebirth, revival, resurrection, renewal literally right around the corner. Sunday of this weekend, we are ending a 165-year cycle. Monday of next week, we are beginning a new 165-year cycle. There's also a period of time that has been an energy that has been present since 2011 that is both concluding and shifting over the course of this next couple of days as well. And there is a real powerful plutonic energy out there that is indicating perhaps some powerful transformations underway. I would not be surprised if it really feels like we are reaching the end of the road in some way regarding something. Friday is a real powerful energy. We've got the sun coming into an exact alignment with Pluto in the sky. We also have the moon conjoining Neptune at 29 degrees of Pisces for the last time for 165 years. This is the last Neptune in Pisces, moon in Pisces conjunction. And Mars is entering the sign of Aquarius as well. The energetic push here is towards something new, towards something innovative, towards something that is emerging, but there is definitely a major piece of something energetically that is disintegrating and falling away in the energy of this weekend as well. So final conclusions right before some type of like epic radical change or new beginning. Lots to talk about, lots of big astrology going on out there, you guys. Let's get into our report of the weekend, take a closer look at how these alignments are occurring for us and what it might mean as we move through the weekend and prepare to enter next week. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today is Friday, January 23rd, 2026. My name is Aubrey. This is your astrological outlook of the weekend, where we are narrating the shift of the ages. In this video, we're just going to take a good look at our energy forecast Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of this weekend and see what we can determine based on that. So that's the plan, and we've got a lot to talk about. We, of course, are moving through a very big astrology week right now. Lots of intensity out there. You may have been feeling it. We have had all of the personal planets coming into an alignment with Pluto over the past couple of days. First it was the moon, then we had Venus, and then we had Mercury. I've been talking about that in my videos, the past two videos this week. Today we're going to be talking about the sun coming into alignment with Pluto. That happens on Friday. Aside from that, on Friday we also have Mars entering Aquarius. That's going to bring a vibe shift. And therefore, Mars is going to be the next and final personal planet aligning with Pluto over this next couple of days, so that energy is beginning to pull in as well. We also have the moon on Friday transiting through the last few degrees of the sign of Pisces. The moon will then enter Aries, but before doing that, the moon will form a conjunction to Saturn and then form a conjunction to Neptune, ruler of the sign of Pisces, at the very last degree of the sign of Pisces, and that will be the last moon Neptune and Pisces conjunction for 165 years. So if you have been enjoying the moon Neptune Pisces conjunctions over this past, Neptune entered Pisces in April of 2011. So however many years that is from right now, 15, 16 years. If you've been enjoying the moon and Pisces coming into alignment together, this is your last opportunity to catch a ride on that energy. So we've got that going on Friday. It is like the energetic send-off of that energy. And it's crazy to me that it's happening at the same moment in time that we also happen to have our once yearly Sun-Pluto conjunction, because the 29th degree of the zodiac, like that's the last degree of the zodiac, okay? Like that is like the final conclusion of the energetic journey of life that the entire zodiac wheel represents, from the spark of life and initiation of that life force energy indicated through the first degree of the zodiac and the Aries energy through that very last degree, that final culmination point, that final point of like dissolving ultimately back into the ether and all that there is in preparation to be born again and reemerge in the form of that spark of life to go through the entire journey of life again. And that is what the different signs of the zodiac from Aries through to Pisces represent as well, the cycle of life. And so with the moon coming through there and hitting Neptune, Neptune also rules the sign of Pisces. So this is a very strong falling away Piscean influence with the moon coming through and hitting that as well on Friday. That's like, especially also like emotionally, you may find yourself at a point where you can like finally let go of something, like maybe something that you've been trying to move away from or trying to release or let go, some emotional baggage maybe with Saturn there that you've been carrying for a while. You might find that you are just sort of like spontaneously surrendering it, letting it all go, coming to a point where for whatever unknown reason, it just no longer feels like it needs to come with you. The sun and Pluto in alignment on the same day. Like the last degree of the zodiac represents the ultimate ending of something, right? And Pluto is also death and rebirth. So we've got like just a very, and this is both luminaries. We're talking about the sun with Pluto, and then we're talking about the moon with Neptune at that very last degree. So that combination right there is very potent in terms of being at a major transition, transformation point, and conclusion, culmination point, threshold into something. This is, you know, in the sign of Aquarius, Neptune moving into Aries, something new, Aries, and like radically different Aquarius. So it could be another very intense weekend. There could definitely be themes having to do with endings, of course, going on. We've got this strong stellium of planets right now in the sign of Aquarius in proximity to Pluto. That could be making things kind of weird or bizarre or unusual or unexpected. Powerful personal transformation with all of these personal planets having just aligned with Pluto as well could be a huge theme of the whole week that carries on into the weekend. There could be a feeling of anticipation going on out there, like something's about to happen, but maybe you don't know exactly what it is, but just like this undeniable feeling that something is coming. This could also feel very like unstable and unpredictable with all of this Uranian Aquarian energy that is being powered up by the Plutonic influence right there as well. And I do find it to be, you know, pretty relevant that as we are wrapping up this 165-year cycle this weekend, preparing for Neptune to begin a brand new cycle transit around the entire zodiac over the course of the next 165 years, we also have, again, like this Pluto energy that is like carrying us through the threshold, that is like seeing us to the door. And Pluto is also about transformation, and it is hitting on so many different levels. This is so multidimensional at this period of time, considering that it has literally been each one of the personal planets hitting the alignment with Pluto in the exact week that Neptune is finally like culminating this entire transit. So there's something highly transformative about what we're moving through. We are both ending and beginning a Neptune entire cycle, and Neptune has to do with collective consciousness, spiritual belief, cultural dreams and trends and ideals and fantasies and illusions and artistic expression. There is likely to be a shift that, again, begins now and plays out, well, not now, but as we move into the energy of next week and plays out over this next 165 years, that definitely brings a shift in collective consciousness having to do with our perception of and relationship to and with specifically a higher power. So, significant period of time in terms of endings right now. These are end days for sure. Pluto is holding the door for us as we cross through that path and cross that threshold. Death and rebirth may definitely be a theme here over these next couple of days, coming through in a lot of ways on a lot of various levels. There's a strange magic about this time too. I've been talking about that over this past couple of months. And there is also, I think, an inability now and going forward, like energetically represented through these transits that are set up for us in the sky this weekend, an inability to manipulate the collective reality through a projection of illusions to the same extent or in the same way that has been possible in the past. I think a lot of people are about to start realizing the power that they actually individually hold to manifest and mentally manipulate their own reality. And I think that is also going to be a major part of this paradigm shift and also this like spiritual revolution that is going to come along with the new Neptune transit that we have coming in right now. The power of the mind, the power of the written and the spoken word are going to become very, very relevant moving forward, and also the realization of the power that we hold to shape our own reality, I think is going to become a consistent and growing phenomenon also, that more and more people are awakening to and experiencing and actually beginning to utilize, like literally from like these very days moving into the entire foreseeable future. So I'm perceiving a spiritual revolution with this. It's going to have to do with the power of the mind. It's also going to have to do with the individual's personal relationship with a higher power. I do think that this new Neptune cycle that we're moving through right now, or moving towards, is going to be a much more personalized experience of God or universe or great spirit or a higher power or all there is. However you connect to the life-giving force out there, I think that it is just going to become much more real and much more personal for a lot of us in a lot of ways as we move through this next couple of days and get this new energy started as we enter next week. Now, in terms of energetic specifics on Friday, I've already mentioned, we've got the Pluto Sun alignment, we've got the Moon and Neptune at that very last degree. Mars also enters Aquarius. This is a crazy intense day, especially in terms of those same actual concepts that I was just discussing, and the spiritual revolution and the redefinition of our relationship to the tangible impact of a higher power's role and presence in our life moving forward. Like, there could definitely be some pretty significant notes of that coming through with these alignments on Friday. Something about this, I'm telling you, it just feels like the final push of something. It energetically does represent the death of something. I mean, the very last degree of the zodiac with the moon there, like, that is the end, okay? That is dissolving from a form that has been physical into a form that is ethereal, preparing for that rebirth moment. Pluto also, death, destruction, decay, okay, purge. Those are octaves that often come when we've got strong plutonic energy as well. But again, the flip side of the last degree of the zodiac is the first degree of the zodiac. The end turns into the beginning, and Pluto's the Phoenix rising energy, burns everything down, but then there is a renewal and a rebirth and revival that's associated with it as well. So it may be the end, but it's not the end. It's also really just the beginning. And these 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, to me, energetically, symbolically, definitely are looking like some type of breakdown, some type of disintegration, some type of dissolving, things falling away somehow. As we move into the energy of Monday, that is where the renewal, the rebirth, the revival, and the reemergence of something that is very new but also very different begins to come in. Now, let's talk more specifically about the energy of the Sun and Pluto in their conjunction, what that aspect in isolation just tends to bring, just so you know what to be aware of. This is not an energy that allows you to stay on the surface level of anything very long. I've been talking about the intense nature of Pluto and the powerful impact it has on each one of the personal planets all week, and when we're talking talking about the sun, people are likely to be going all in on whatever it is that they are getting involved in. This is a very deep energy, and there is just no, especially in the sign of Aquarius, there is not going to be any level of satisfaction with anything that is on the surface or anything that is perceived as like shallow or inauthentic. And of course, as a result of people's tendency to really like go full force into whatever it is that they're intrigued in or interested by in this energy, there can be some very powerful outcomes or effects or results that come from this transit. Pluto relates to the forces underlying basically all experiences that lead to fundamental evolutionary change from within. The inevitable power of these changes can produce major occurrences in the world and in our own lives: growth, evolution, decay, death, as well as rebirth and regeneration. Some of those themes that we've already addressed. This could manifest though, like on a practical, mundane level, just in terms of little things. Like you could find yourself concerned with repairing something that has broken down, like a car or machinery or appliance. You may have to deal with a situation that has also broken down to the point that it must be radically changed for some reason in order to continue. And that also, again, like that's why, like the Pluto energy does it too. Like the Sun Pluto energy also breaks things down, and Neptune energy breaks things down, and Pisces energy breaks things down. And when we've got the moon there at the very last degree of the zodiac, that also breaks things down. Like this is like an ultimate release point here. The moon rules our emotions, so that's like being emotionally ready to let go of something perhaps that has been persisting our entire lives. This is a 165-year cycle. I don't know how many of us were around the last time that we had these moon Pisces Pluto alignments coming into being. And so like this could be literally something that has been like carried over or karmic, or that you've been dealing with throughout the course of your life, this emotional baggage, and just coming to a point of being like, I don't need it anymore. And maybe the burden is just lifted spontaneously somehow. But with the Sun Pluto as well, that's like the life force also being ready to either repair itself dramatically in a very transformative, life-changing way somehow, or something that maybe has been like hindering our light or our ability to shine, or holding us back in some way, or overpowering us or dominating us, or that we've been submitting to, or something like that. Or even like addictions and stuff like that can be represented here, coming to an end as well. So that's what I'm saying, you guys. It's literally like we got 3 days here to leave the past in the past because something new is coming. With the Sun Pluto, though, you could also find yourself contending, okay, with someone who seems to be trying to exert unreasonable power over you. Power struggles are also a very typical and traditional manifestation of a Sun Pluto conjunction. You may feel forced to defend your right to do things your way for some reason. It's also another thing about this energy, like not the best day to put yourself in any type of like risky or like semi, like I don't know if this is actually safe type of situations. Dark places, being around people with dark or toxic or criminal tendencies or motives or intentions, you know, like just trying your best not to create an opportunity where bad things could potentially happen is smart when we've got a Sun Pluto alignment going on, because sometimes like this can be an energy where it's just not a good idea to take the dark alleyway home, okay? It's just not a good idea to, you know, walk through the part of town that is known for like having a lot of like crime and violence and stuff like that, because sometimes just more unfortunate things can happen as a result of those forces pulling together in energy such as this. But I would not be surprised if things are, again, breaking down somehow for some reason to some extent in the energy of Friday, whether it's like actual physical things and machinery, or whether it's like, you know, just situations or circumstances or relationships. It could represent something coming to an end or needing to be replaced. Things that have been used and that have served their purpose and that have been in operation for a long period of time may just finally come to their resting point, okay, finally just stop working, and we might need something new. Like, again, like that could literally have to do with like a tool or, you know, like a machine or an instrument or something that we've been using for a long time. Like, for example, actually, this whiteboard back here, as I'm just like inserting this personal example because this just happened for this particular video. I've had this whiteboard. I mean, I've had this board forever, and I've been using this same board ever since I started using a whiteboard on my channel, like multiple years ago by this point. And literally right as I was about to start recording this video today, the board, like, I don't know what happened, but it fell over somehow and like bashed off my desk, and the frame that it was in broke, and it's like all like disheveled and haggard and stuff now. And I'm gonna have to get a new whiteboard. But like, that's exactly, and then when it happened, I was like laughing to myself because like that is the exact type of thing that like I would expect to be going on in this energy. Like, the things that we've used, maybe we've loved them, they've served a great purpose, they've been around for a while, but for whatever reason it's like time for something new. Like, we need to, like, this is like the last time that we're gonna be doing this. So I don't know. Hopefully I'll have a new whiteboard sometime soon, although it's out of the frame now. I took it out of the frame, so maybe it will continue to work for a little while until I replace it. But it did need to be radically altered in order to continue to serve its purpose. So I don't know, you guys. We're talking about Aquarius energy, though. That's where all these planets are moving. That's where these alignments are taking place. This also indicates major technological upgrades, and Pluto can have to do with like engines and motors and stuff like that. So this could also be like needing to replace technology. It does feel like being at a point, though, of trading in something very old and well used and understood for maybe something cutting edge, very new, and again, like radically different. Radical upgrades could be a theme, a highlight, or a term that feels appropriate in this energy, okay? Again, though, with both the Sun and Pluto and the Moon and Neptune, something is going through its transition here. And I feel like I've said that enough. Okay, let's talk about Mars entering Aquarius. Also, Mars is entering Aquarius on Friday. Mars hasn't been in Aquarius in 2 years, and he's back, leaving Capricorn, the past, entering Aquarius, representing the future. The energy, like, Mars rules the energy. So even like if we're talking about the planet that is specifically pertaining to energy itself, it's moving from the sign that represents the past and history and convention and just like the standard order and how things always have been, to the sign that represents things that are radically new, revolutionary, and like very, very like unprecedented, novel, and different. So our energy, collective energy, is also transitioning and moving away from what has been into what is becoming. The physical energy present from Friday moving forward is future focused. I think a lot of people are going to be very primed to start doing things different. Acting and behaving may be very different than they have in a long time, or than they ever have in their life, perhaps. So all that in combination, you guys, Friday, I mean, to say it again, you know, could just feel very intense, powerful, or significant, like some type of culmination point. You could find yourself with the desire or the need for some reason to fix, change, or more deeply understand something. Let's talk about Saturday now. Saturday, the sun does move off of Pluto. Now we have Venus, Mercury, and the sun moving, all of them moving beyond their Pluto alignment. But we do have Mars now building into the conjunction with Pluto. And that's going to be another big one. Mars and Pluto only conjoin once every 2 years. That is a very powerful, eruptive, explosive, and like combustible energy, especially in the sign of Aquarius. Very, again, intense, powerful frequency. So on one level, things may be lightening up a bit as we move past the Sun-Pluto conjunction, and Mercury and Venus are moving beyond proximity to Pluto on Saturday. But then on another level, people are probably going to be acting very intensely, very passionately, and there could also be some quite obsessive or compulsive drives to do something, to pursue something, to make something happen. The level of sheer willpower and determination present here is profound, and people will not be willing to or prepared to quit on something, to give up on something in any way once they like set their sights on it. Once people decide that they are going to do something, move towards something, this is going to be a very, very stubborn energy, and you're really not going to be able to sway anybody, okay? The moon is in the sign of Aries on Saturday as well. Aries is, of course, ruled by Mars. So even like the emotional energy here is describing that like very enthusiastic or motivated or courageous or impassioned or inspired pursuit to do something. Our emotions are likely to be playing into like whatever that drive is. Mars is also the self and Pluto is power, so a sense of self-empowerment or personal power is likely to be accompanying this as well, and it can also bring up some very fierce power struggles that go on. We're going to talk more about this energy in the next video because the alignments are going to be coming exact as we hit the energy of next week, but I do think Saturday is likely to be a very energized day, maybe very fiery, passionate, and again, of course, intense. It could feel sort of like a rush. You could feel very motivated to accomplish something. There is this drive to get ahead, right? Mars is now in the sign of Aquarius. This is about, and he's trailing all of the other personal planets, like to catch up, to move forward, to embrace change somehow. This could also, again, literally have to do with or bring up things having to do with engines or motors or vehicles. In the sign of Aquarius also, like this could actually be like rockets or like rocket launches, spacecraft, some type of like propulsion technology or something like that would be indicated for sure. But use this energy to make constructive changes to the world around you or to your personal life or even to your own inner world on Saturday. Mars is our energy and Pluto is the power up. So we have a lot of very powerful energy in terms of however we're directing it. Don't direct it to self-destruct, you guys, because that is also, I mean, Pluto is also destruction and Mars is also the self. So while self-empowerment is an octave and a dynamic of this energy, self-destruction is as well. So obviously we want to be using this energy productively and not destructively. Let's talk about Sunday. Sunday is like the final moment in this 3-day period of culmination right here. This is the, of course, very last day of Neptune in the sign of Pisces. Neptune is at 29 degrees and 59 minutes of Pisces on Sunday, the very last degree minute of the zodiac. Neptune is also, remember, the ruler of the sign of Pisces. So this is real pure energy, very strong energy. Tomorrow on Monday, a new spiritual journey does begin. But for now, on Sunday, like these are the final moments. We also have the moon in Taurus squaring the Aquarius planets on Sunday as we are closing out this cycle. Sunday could be a bit of a more emotionally conflicting day. Of course, the intensity is still going to be there. You could be dealing with some internalized anger or frustration or subconscious triggers that are coming up. Could be over what is ending or what is being released. You could feel also like what other people are doing or saying is disrupting your peace or comfort or security somehow. There could be some inner annoyances or irritations that are coming up as a result of the moon in Taurus squaring those Aquarius planets, but mostly maybe just the sense again of like anticipation, determination to move things forward, and a knowing, like a non-corporeal, like it's probably honestly just a sense, like a knowing and a sense that something has reached, that we've reached the end of something and something can no longer continue to go on. Struggling with a bit of loss or letting go could also be causing some of these emotional disturbances for sure. People could be acting also kind of stubborn or fixed or fixated on things, very maybe like obsessed with things, or, you know, Pluto, jealousy, this like these compulsions and stuff like that could be driving maybe some of the emotional unrest that's going on. This is, again, though, not a day where you want to be looking to start trouble with anyone unless you are willing to or want to fight till the death over something, because with Mars and Pluto there, that is also what that represents. And this is all about the endings for things. And I do think that that is also a way that some people are going to be navigating this energy. I do think that people who are in certain circumstances are going to be, willing to go all in to the point of knowing that there's no return if they don't come out on top. So I don't know, but it just looks that way. Now on Friday, let's talk about some symbols for a minute, and then we are going to wrap this report up. On Friday, the Earth is at 4 degrees of the sign of Leo. That is going to be the polarity point, the exact oppositional point to where the Sun-Pluto alignment is taking place. Listen to this symbol, considering everything I've said in this report today. 4 degrees of Leo is a man formally dressed, stands near trophies he brought back from a hunting expedition. So that does feel appropriate. Trophy hunting could definitely be a vibe out there. And again, we don't want to be necessarily out there hunting trophies, and we don't want to be the trophy being hunted in this energy either. It is best if we are kind of like avoiding dangerous people and situations and making sure that we're not putting ourselves in a position to self-destruct or to encounter any type of unnecessarily dark situations for any reason. We also have the conjunction taking place at 4 degrees of Aquarius in terms of the symbolism associated. That symbol is a Hindu healer glows with a mystic healing power. There is a deep process of soul healing, I think, that is taking place here. I was saying in one of my other videos this week, it also feels like a period of soul revival. I actually think a lot of people are going to get or be getting reacquainted with their deeper, truer, more authentic selves, and the purpose that they discover through that process. I do think is another thing that is going to be quite life-changing for a lot of people in terms of the way that they're directing their lives going forward, how they're using their energy, how they're thinking about things, what they value, what they're engaging in. And again, that is also reflective of and represented by all of these personal planets coming into the alignment with Pluto at this point in time in the sign of Aquarius, as we are hitting this major spiritual transition point with Neptune culminating the cycle and beginning the new cycle as well. So deep soul healing, retrieval, revival, that could be a part of it too. And let's talk about the Neptune position, 29 degrees of Pisces, the last degree of the zodiac. The Sabian symbol associated with that degree is also the longest symbol of all of the Sabian symbols. I think I have it memorized. It is a majestic rock formation resembling a face, is idealized by a boy who takes it as his ideal of greatness, and as he grows up begins to look like it. So ideals are evolving, we are evolving. Neptune rules ideals. Neptune is about to go, we are starting a new cycle of Neptune's journey around the entire zodiac, again having to do with cultural ideals, dreams, aspirations, fantasies, illusions, the collective consciousness generally, soul revival, spiritual awakening. I do think that there is likely to be an evolving sense of idealism moving forward that is going to have this impact of altering our relationship to the spiritual truths that we perceive as a part of our reality. So there's that, you guys. And with that, that is what I have to say for our report today. I hope that you guys liked it. We are going to now get a synchronicity card. I'm going to ask for one final piece of guidance or advice that we can take with us through this 3-day threshold that we are moving through, as we have these Pluto alignments coming in this weekend and Neptune ends and prepares to begin this new cycle. And our card, you guys, says rest, relax, and believe. Very Piscean. Very Neptunian, very Piscean. Okay, it says, he feedeth among the lilies until the day breaks and the shadows flee away. Song of Solomon 2:16 through 17. Take refuge among the lilies of God in heaven and dwell upon the concepts of joy, harmony, peace, beauty, and divine law and order. All your plans, journeys, and undertakings will prosper. Continue in this abiding trust and faith in God until the day breaks and the shadows flee away. So appropriate, you guys, for where we're at right now. The day is about to break as Neptune enters the sign of Aries on Monday of next week. The shadows are going to flee away as the Sun and Mars conclude these Pluto conjunctions that we've got coming up here. So our cosmic advice is to rest, relax, believe, take it easy, have trust and faith. Surrender the burden, you know, like that's just where we're at. If things are falling away, if you're needing to release something, if there's a process of emotional release underway, don't fight the process, let it happen, because there is something coming, you know, there's a page that's being turned and new beginnings are literally like right around the corner. And I do think, as I've been saying, that things are about to change significantly as we continue moving through 2026 and towards the spring. So that's what I got for you guys today. That's what I have to say. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, you guys. Share it with your friends if you think that they would also enjoy this type of astrology content. Leave me comments. Let me know what's going on with you out there. If you guys are having experiences that reflect what I'm talking about in this or any of my videos, definitely tell me all about it. Drop me a comment. Let me know. I truly value what you guys have to say and hearing from you and knowing how this energy is impacting you. So thank you for that. If you want to know what's on this whiteboard, I have a Facebook group where I post images of those boards. So take a look in the description box below. There's a link to the Facebook group. If you want to see the board, click that link. It'll take you over there, and most likely I will have the image of the board posted. So that's where you can find that. And come back with me on Monday, you guys. I have already feel like I've said plenty enough times that we've got some more big astrology coming at us. We're literally beginning a whole new cycle, a whole new spiritual journey, a whole new Neptune transit around the entire zodiac from the Western tropical perspective coming up on Monday. So I will be back to talk all about it. There's a lot more to say. You don't want to miss it. I will see you then, you guys. Have a beautiful weekend, and until next time, bye.